Hey everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group, family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast. And our podcast is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
That's right, and welcome to another episode. And this episode is called The Power of a Virtual Assistant and Your Journey to Financial Freedom.
He had to memorize that.
I did.
Good job.
That was a long,
It was a
long
good
title,
one.
and
Yeah.
there's nothing here.
Yeah, sorry. No notes today.
No notes.
I just thought of this title while I was downstairs because we were in the middle of just doing all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Jody is pinging me from here, and everywhere, and then handling some tax stuff and some other financial stuff and some marketing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, you know what, we really should do a podcast about our virtual team. And something else I was thinking about Cheese.
Uh-huh.
Cheese had sent me a message one day just saying, I love listening to your podcast and it's so fun whenever you mention my name. And I thought, I need to talk about Cheese again sometime. And so between Jody and Cheese, virtual assistants came to our mind. And I think over half of our team is virtual.
Yeah,
right?
at least.
And it's not all Philippines. Cheese and Jody are from the Philippines, but Joe is in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Tina's in Georgia. We're now in Florida. Mm-hmm. We could be considered virtual.
We're virtual founders.
So I just thought, on people's journey to financial freedom, think about the fact that you've got your profession, right? Mm-hmm. You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be anything, entrepreneur, and you're just incredibly busy with your day-to-day. Mm-hmm. And some people's journey to financial freedom is put on hold, or they get stuck because of their day-to-day. Mm-hmm. And how much would you and I be stuck if we didn't have our virtual team, right? Somebody like Cheese who can do a bunch of stuff in the acquisition side, especially when you are working more directly with him. Right. Especially like Jody, who is handling so much that I don't even know how we get everything done with only, just her. And now AJ is helping with you with the editing these podcasts. And I'm sure AJ probably helps Jody with some stuff too whenever Jody gets overloaded. So I think there's some power in people realizing that having an extra set of hands is a really, really good thing. Mm-hmm. And we love working with people from the Philippines because they've just turned out to be so freaking fantastic that's the virtual team that we typically hire. It doesn't mean we don't hire from other countries, but primarily everybody's from the Philippines because as we've brought them on board, they've helped and recruit others, they've helped refer others. Mm-hmm. And I just think that there's some power in that a lot of people perhaps don't know to take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. Because, go to onlinejobs.ph.
Yes.
That's where we go to hire our virtual assistants. And that specific site is a site for Philippine assistants, virtual assistants, specific. And we just have fallen in love with their culture and who they are as people and just how incredible they are and how much they help us, that we've just decided to continue growing the virtual assistant organization within that realm. And we even have a map, right? You want to talk about the map? Yeah,
so we actually have a map of the Philippines and shows where they all live. Because it's like, I'm like, at first it was just the Philippines. I mean, I'll be honest, when we first started, I'm like, I know where the Philippines are, but could I point them out in the map? Probably not. Right. I knew in the general vicinity where it was. But now I know where it's at. Now I know where Cheese and Coco live, and and where all the different people live, and it's so cool, and it's just there are Frag family, but they spell Frag PH, REG, so they become. We've had virtual assistants in the past, but nothing like this. And these guys they're so amazing, and they're as much of a part of the team as the team in Ohio.
100%. So even the team, whenever we do parties, usually the Filipino team is on TV.
On a TV,
right?
In the room,
so they can experience it. Not that it's hard to experience something virtual. I mean, we know this because we're now virtual, and we're like watching a party or people in the conference room. It's very hard to engage. But it doesn't mean we're not trying to include them, right? And then they do their own virtual stuff because it's much easier to engage with everybody when everybody's virtual as opposed to part physical, part virtual. So those things are really cool. We celebrate Independence Day for the Philippines.
Yeah, we missed it this last time. I think you and I were on the road, but each one of the companies in Ohio, they all did a different dish. You know, they learned how to make a different dish, a Filipino dish, not an American dish, a Filipino dish. So, you know, they really brought the culture into our company.
Yeah, and so we do lots of things. So, kind of maybe how we use it is really extravagant with regard to what we do and how we incorporate it into all of our businesses. But I think that there's an advantage for you guys hearing this so that you can hear, hey, they've got 6 companies and they're saying half of their team is virtual and from the Philippines. Like, that's something, right? That's something pretty incredible. Yeah. And if you are an entrepreneur or you're a new business owner or things like that, like, money gets tight, right, as you're building. Like, in future years, you're so profitable, it doesn't matter, right? You don't have to worry about overhead because you fine tune all of your processes and your systems, and you've gone through the roller coasters of the ups and downs and all the mistakes that happen when you're growing something, and you don't have to worry about money. But when you're starting up, it's really incredible to be able to engage people from a different place that's going to allow you to budget better and then make them part of the team, right? Because it's an opportunity for them, it's an opportunity for us, and together we all grow. And so, like, they are as much a part of the family as we are. But I was thinking about it when I said, let's do this podcast. I was like, literally, if we didn't have all these companies, I think that knowing what I know now, I would still hire somebody and I would say, hey, would you help me manage these finances, manage these numbers, you know, create these spreadsheets, follow up with my tax professional, do this, file this. And because I literally, every time I need to find something, I'm like, oh, Jody, can you tell me where this is? And she probably sent me the link like 2 days ago, even 2 hours ago. But it just saves so much time for Jody to be able to help me in that way. And we're all trying to live a quality life. It's really nice to be able to have another person in your personal team that will help you on your journey to financial freedom, following up with all the things that you never have time to do, or you get some of it done, then some of it done, and your journey seems and feels so slow. When somebody else can be doing that on your behalf, it's just really incredible. And so I just wanted to share, like, that's a game changer for us. And I thought it was important to talk about.
No, and also the other thing too is I've seen how people treat virtual assistants, you know, from other companies or from other countries, and they treat them horribly. You know, they don't treat them like part of the company. They don't treat them whatever. You know, they treat them just horribly. And that was one thing that, you know, from the get-go, that we were like, no, that's not how we're going to treat them. They are just as part of the company as you and I, you know, as everyone on the team in Ohio. And it's all for one and one for all. And I remember it's funny. I was in the office and Tiffany came running around the corner and she was so excited and I was like, well, I'm like, what are you so excited for? And she said, somebody's about to tell everybody that they're expecting, you know. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my head of all the women in our office in Ohio, and I'm just like, who? And she was one of the girls from the Philippines, and they were so excited, and everyone was cheering, and you know, so that's cool. It's we're all just one big family, and everyone's treated equally. Because we're all just big team members.
Yep, that is pretty awesome. Love it. Cool.
All right, well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you're heading on over to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, to join our investor club. We have a lot of stuff going on, so make sure you check out the investor club. Make sure you're reaching out to Ben and CJ, and check out all of our social medias, channels,
platforms, channels, whatever
they are. But we like to end all of our episodes with
invest smart,
live happy. Bye, everybody. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on the show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit and loss.